Hello guys, I am in my grandma phase, like literally. I took my contacts out, I put my glasses on. I really didn't do my hair, except I brushed it back earlier, but I decided to come back here to the house to just take a break because I just need a break. And the lighting on this camera is terrible, so I really look like somebody's grandma. um, But I'm just laying here chilling. I wanted to have a chit chat with you guys in my most raw and uncut form, okay? Um, I just ate lunch, so I'm just letting my food digest as I'm talking to you guys. Before we dig into this conversation real quick, I need y'all to tap that like button and I need you all to subscribe. I need you guys to tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell everyone about this channel, about this video, about narcissists, about narcissistic abuse, and about the characteristics and behavior of narcissists. How to get out, how to get away, and how to get to safety, and how to have and lead a normal, happy, healthy life. Normal, happy, healthy life, guys. Yes. So let's dig into the conversation. So for a while, I wasn't going to speak on Halle Bailey and DDG, right? Halle Bailey and DDG are going through a nasty, not nasty, but nasty custody battle, right? They both young. They're not even 30 yet. And they got a son named Halo. He's only a year old. And poor Halo. I feel sorry for Halo because both of his parents are at war with one another, and that's never good when a child is stuck in the middle. It's never good, guys. Like, here's the thing. Most people in life think it's never going to be them that ends up in these types of situations, especially celebrities. People always think that it's never going to be them until it is. My thing is this, like, I literally went through this same stuff 20 years ago, okay? My oldest son is 20. He will be 21 in October. I'm 41. So 20 years ago, when I was going through this same situation, this same thing, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was bitter, okay? Like, I wasn't bitter for the longest time, but like in the beginning, I was bitter. Simply because I was hurt. You feel what I'm saying? I was hurt. I had a broken heart. I was shocked. I was disappointed. I was really in a deep hole. And it took me to go through the healing process to get myself out of that deep, dark hole that I was in, because when my son's father broke my heart, I vowed that I would never fall in love again, okay? Like, I was telling myself, like, I'm never going to open up my heart to anybody again. I'm never going to allow myself to get knocked up again unless I'm married. And I made that vow to myself that I was never going to get pregnant again unless I'm married. And I'm never going to give my heart away to somebody ever again. Fast forward. I met my husband, and my son was at the time 6 months old, okay? So I had just fresh had a baby. My baby was 6 months old, and I meet my husband on one of the streets of Oakland, and mind y'all, I had just told myself months prior that I was never going to fall in love again. I was never going to give nobody else my heart ever again. And here I was 6 months later talking to a dude that I didn't fall in love with right away, guys. I didn't fall in love with him right away, but his charm, his manipulation tactics, okay, got me sucked right on in. And it wasn't long before I was just like, all right, I'm going to give this dude a shot. You know, like, because I thought about it. I'm in my mind, I'm like, I am a single mom. I'm very young. I don't want to be alone. Like, that was one of my biggest fears, was just being alone. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to raise my son completely alone. And I didn't want my son to be raised without a father figure in his life. So I hopped on board with dude, right? After talking to him for like off and on for like a whole year. After talking to him off and on for a whole year, I finally just decided to hop on board with him and make him and I legit and be a real couple and give him a shot. And after dating him for a couple months, he was already talking about marriage. So fast forward, right? I'm still in love with my son's father. I'm bitter at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm bitter. And I didn't do what Halle is doing. I didn't seek the court system on my son's father. But I quickly jumped into a relationship with another man just so that I could numb the pain that I was feeling. And also so that my son could have a father figure in his life, because I needed somebody to complete me and my son to make us a family. Now, was I looking for that? No. But was it on my mind? Yes. Was I thinking about it? Yes. But was I looking and searching for this person? No. I just was walking the streets of Oakland minding my business, and this guy came along, asked for my name and my number, and he wiggled his way and inserted his way into my life. But at the time that I was going through this baby daddy drama and walking around with a broken heart and trying to find myself and make sense of my life and trying to figure out how I'm going to raise my son by myself, here he comes along. So he was like the perfect person for the perfect opportunity. You feel what I'm saying? Not that I was looking for it. I'm not an opportunist, but it all happened at the same time coincidentally that he popped up and he inserted himself right on in. See, this is how the devil works. I'm going to just tell y'all, this is how the devil works. See, the devil know what you want. He know what you need, and he'll assign somebody that job at the right time. And the devil gives people assignments to just enter your life as the perfect distraction, making you believe that it's the perfect person for the perfect situation, right? But it's the worst person, worst situation to allow yourself to even be in. Let's fast forward. I hated my son's daddy guts after he broke up with me and left me pregnant. I hated this dude's guts. I didn't want nothing to do with him. I didn't want him, excuse me. Allergies are real bad, guys. I didn't want to have nothing to do with this dude. I was angry. I was bitter. And in my mind, I was thinking of things to make him hurt the way I was hurting, to make him suffer the way that I was suffering. I wanted to hurt him in some type of way, right? So let's fast forward. I let my son go on a visit with his father. My son was like 18 months old. And one of the visits that he had with his father put him in a bathtub. I guess he called himself giving our son a bath. And I don't know how, but he put him in a tub of hot water and it burnt my son's buttocks. And thank God his little scrotum was not burnt, but he put him in a tub of hot water, burned him. And I had to call the paramedics because he called me saying that he had something on his butt. And I'm thinking it was a rash, but lo and behold, he brings him by. I see it, and it's not a rash. It's a burn. So I lift my son's diaper up and see that it was a burn and not a rash. I see my son had been crying. Now, mind you, he put a diaper on him, sat him in the fucking car seat. Excuse my language. in some fucking jeans. So he brings him upstairs in the car seat, still strapped in the car seat. I take my son out the car seat immediately, unstrap him. I pull the jeans off my son. I lay my baby on his stomach. I pull the jeans off from his feet. I lift his diaper up, and I look in, and I see that his butt is cooked. So I'm hot. Oh, I'm real, you know. So this intensifies my bitterness like times 1,000. Okay, you guys, like, just mind you. You first break my heart. You leave me pregnant to raise him by myself, and then you fucking bring my baby home burnt. Oh no, nigga, you gotta pay. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, nigga, oh no, nigga, you gotta pay. So the first thing I did was I made sure my son got help. I took him to the hospital. And now, you know, I'm a black woman in the black community in Oakland. First thing they're gonna think is I did this to my son. I had to give them a statement and explain that my son's father did this to him, and he brought him home to me burnt. And I had to give my statement like at least 4 or 5 times. And I guess they wanted to make sure I wasn't lying. So I tell them where they could find the father or where they could possibly find the father. I give, you know, the answer about his whereabouts and things of that nature. I'm having to give my statement 3 or 4 times. They had Child Protective Services sitting right outside of the room at the hospital waiting to handcuff me like I did this to my baby. And I had to explain it was his father that did it. I mean, it was a whole mess, you guys. But my thing was, I was so scared and nervous that I was going to be separated from my son because of what happened to him. So all I wanted to do was to protect my rights and protect myself and not get arrested for something I didn't do. And the second thing I wanted to do was to protect my son. I wanted to be there for my son. So after I gave my statement like 4 or 5 times, the only thought in my head was this nigga got to pay. So when I finally got my son to the burn unit in San Francisco, cops came to my son's recovery room in San Francisco right before they did surgery on him. And they was asking me questions, and they asked if I wanted to press charges. And I was so angry. I said to the cop, I said, what do you think? What do you think I want to do, officer? Because, I mean, my child nearly lost his life here. I mean, my son's body is already showing signs of shutting down. My son could die today for all we know. And you're asking me if I want to press charges? Like, that's the most retarded question. He said, ma'am, I'm just doing my job. He says, ma'am, I'm just doing my job. I have to ask. So I said, if I don't press charges, what are y'all going to do? Well, there's a long procedure, and, you know, we're going to have to take the baby and put him in foster care until we can finish the investigation. I said, oh, no. You ain't got to worry about me not pressing charges. I'm pressing charges today. That nigga burnt my baby. He brought him home burnt to me. My baby could die today for all I know because his body is showing signs of shutting down. Oh, that nigga is going to jail. I'm pressing charges. And then the officer was like, okay, ma'am, that's all we need. So fast forward, not only was I bitter because this man broke my heart, but he burnt my baby. And my baby damn near died, okay? So my bitterness is at like a million. You feel me? Like, my bitterness then went from a 50 to like a million. So in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, this nigga is going to jail. He has to pay. He has to pay for all the hurt and the pain that he's caused me, the suffering, the damages. My fucking baby is damn near dying. Oh no, he's going to jail. So why am I sharing this story? I'm sharing this story simply because a lot of times us women are always put in these types of positions where the man always woo us and manipulate our mind and tell us all the sweet nothings that we believe when they tell us these sweet nothings. And they get us all, you know, googly eyed for them and wet between the legs. And then before you know it, we pregnant. And then when we're pregnant, 9 times out of 10, the guy loses interest, and then he goes off about his business and go get him a new girlfriend, or he goes and go mess with a bunch of other females because he wants to have his freedom. Now you stuck and left with a baby, and now you're left to figure out how to raise this baby on your own, even though you didn't get yourself pregnant. and they make you fall in love with them. And so now, because they left you, they leave you with a baby and a broken heart and a bunch of false promises that they made, and a bunch of fake plans that they made with you, and they left you with the shattered family that they decided to create with you. So yeah. And then before you know it, you're bitter because your heart is broken. You're in a lot of pain. You're disappointed. You in shock. You didn't think it was gonna be you, but it's you now. And yeah, a lot of men do this to us, guys. And it's unfortunate, but that's just life. And Halle, baby, you just gotta learn how to get through your pain, and you can't put your feelings or your emotions before your son. Your son has two parents. I know you don't want to hear this. You might not ever see this video, but if you do, your baby boy has two parents. And if DDG is a good daddy, because I've heard you get online and say it many a times, if DDG is a good dad, then you have no reason to keep that baby away from his father. I'm with you. When you feel like this nigga that got me pregnant, he broke my heart. He led me to believe we was gonna be this one big happy family. He lied to me. He used me. He messing around with other females. I'm with you. I'm mad for you. But that is no good reason or no logical reason or explanation for you to be holding that baby from his father. And I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I only know and see what's put on the internet. But from what it seems like, he doesn't put that baby in harm's way. He doesn't put that baby in danger. He doesn't put that baby around other females. He doesn't put that baby around his drinking and partying and stuff, the things that he do as a grown man. He doesn't put his son around that. So it seems. And if I'm correct about what I'm saying, that man deserves to be around his son, and that baby deserves to be around his father, just like that baby deserves to be around you. You didn't have this baby by yourself. Y'all had this baby together. Jeez, my allergies are bad, guys. I said raw and uncut, right? So you're going to have to put y'all differences to the side, and you're going to have to carry this broken heart that you have and mend it back together. And you're going to have to put your feelings to the side for your son and put your son first and not yourself. Because by you making it hard for this man to see his son, you're putting your feelings before your son. And it might not seem that like that's what you're doing because how you're thinking of it, because I completely understand. I was thinking the same way too. You are wrong for putting your feelings before your son, even though that's not what you're trying to do. That's what you are doing. And if I was in my right mind at the time when my son got burned, I probably would have thought about what was best for my son and not just my own self. And if I know my son's father at all, I don't think he purposefully burnt the baby, but I couldn't help but think that shit, maybe this was a part of his plan employed and I have to pay child support. But I think that my baby daddy loved that baby. And I don't think he would have done what was done to that baby on purpose. I think it was a freak accident. He just wasn't paying attention and didn't make sure that the water was warm. He didn't test the water before putting my son in that water. And he made a mistake. And it's unfortunate that that mistake happened, but he made a mistake. And if I had put my differences and my feelings to the side for once, maybe I could have figured out a way for my son to be raised along with his father being in his life. Because when I think back on it now that my son is 20 and I'm 41, I would have liked for my son's father to be a part of his life because that is vital for a child's development. Women, we cannot let our feelings get in the way of making a very, very grown-up decision. We cannot allow our emotions to cloud our judgment, and we cannot put our feelings before our children. As hard as it is to do it, and as easy as it is to say it, we got to be grown up out here about how we moving as mothers. Even if it hurts us, even if it pains us, we got to do better as moms. We got too many black kids out here being raised by women and not by men and women together jointly, we got to break these generational curses, and we got to start doing what's right for our kids. And we have to figure out some kind of way to kiss a little butt, to be a little nice, to be a little cordial toward these fathers, and figure out a way to incorporate the father into the child's life. Because once again, like I said, it is really important for your child's development. Now that we got that out the way and we have discussed it, tell me what you all think in the comments. Yeah, the typical narc father, the typical narc baby daddy will manipulate your mind in the beginning. He will lie to you. He will future fake with you. He will lead you to believe all of these things that he has told you. He will make this fake plan with you, this fake family. And then once he get what he wants from you, he's good. He's good as gone, like good as a ghost. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, but it happens. A lot of narc fathers, a lot of narc baby daddies, and a lot of narc boyfriends do this to us guys. Think about it is we got to be smarter than them, and we have to be 10 steps ahead of them so that they can't run this stupid ass game on us. You feel what I'm saying? We got to be smarter up here, women. We have to be more conscious about what type of people we're dealing with in the real world. And we got to allow God to sharpen our discernment so that we know what's coming at us before it even hits us. But if we in la la land and our head is in the clouds and we listening to a bunch of sweet nothings, then yeah, he's going to play you. He's going to use you, and he's going to screw over you. And the only reason why these young men are allowed to do this to us guys is because we let them. Nobody has that much power over you unless you allow it to happen. So Halle, I hate to break it to you, sweetheart, but you allowed DDG to play you. You listened to a whole bowl of his sweet nothings that he fed you. You believed every word that he said. You thought y'all was going to be this happy family, and boom, he's kissing on other females and smooching on other females and hanging out with other females, having sex with other females and holding hands and doing all these things he did with you with other women. And it's okay because it's happened to the best of us, honey. I have been there, done it. Everything you're going through right now, girl, I done been there, done that, okay? But you got to move on. You got to be the bigger and better person, and you got to do what's best for your son. And if I know what I know about DDG, I don't know everything about him now. But what I do know is that he ain't going to harm that baby. He's not going to put that baby in harm's way. But also, DDG needs to do a better job of creating a schedule with you so that y'all can have a steady, balanced program for your son. So if he takes the baby, he needs to return that baby, and he needs to communicate with you and give you a time frame of when the baby gonna be back so that you can plan your time and your life accordingly. He can't just take the baby and not tell you when he gonna bring the baby back, and then don't let you know when the baby is coming back, and he got the baby and you don't know when the baby coming back. That's not right. No, he needs to do right by you in that regard. He needs to have more respect for you in that regard. He needs to communicate with you. He needs to have more respect for you. I mean, you had his child, for God's sake. The right thing to do is for him to communicate with you, let you know when he's bringing that baby back to you, because that's what you deserve. But also, don't stoop down to his level, sweetheart, and keep that child away from his father, because that's just showing that you are just as small as DDG. So you got to mature, and you got to get a little bit more grown and understand that, like, you're not hurting DDG, you're hurting that baby. And that baby is only a year old, so he might not understand right now, but as he gets older and he starts to understand more, he's going to start finding out certain things, and he's going to hold that against you, sweetheart. You don't want that. Your child is going to resent you, and you don't want that. So you kind of got to put your differences to the side and let that child spend time with his father, because DDG is not a bad father. DDG was a scandalous boyfriend. He was a scandalous nigga for lying to you and feeding you a bunch of sweet nothings and leaving you for some other female and cheating on you behind your back. And he was a scandalous dude for that. But that still does not make it okay for you to stoop down to his level and keep his son away from him or keep your son away from his father. That's all I got for this video. And I guess the point is, narcs are going to be narcs. Toxic people are going to be toxic people. And they're going to lie to you. They're going to manipulate you and get in your head. They're going to feed you a bunch of sweet nothings. They're going to make you believe all their lies. And as long as you be gullible and naive and believe everything they tell you, they're going to be able to run game on you. I love you guys. See you all in the next video. Peace and blessings. Later.